1 Samuel, Shemuel, Alef, chapter 25. Shemuel died. All of Israel assembled to mourn him and bury him at his home in Ramah. Then David set out and went down to the Paran desert. Now there was a man in Maon who had a property in Carmel. He was very rich, having 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. The man's name was Nabal, and his wife was named Abigail. The woman was intelligent and attractive, but the man was surly and mean in his actions. He belonged to the clan of Alef. David, there in the desert, heard that Nabal was shearing his sheep. David sent off 10 young men with these orders. Go up to Nabal in Carmel and bring him greetings from me. Say, long life and shalom to you, shalom to your household, and shalom to everything that is yours. I've heard that you now have shearers. Your shepherds were with us for a while. We did them no harm, and they found nothing missing all the time they were in Carmel. Ask your own men, they'll tell you. Therefore receive my men favorably, since we have come on a festive day. Please give what you can to your servants and to your son David. On arrival, David's men said all these things to Nabal in David's name. When they had finished, Nabal answered David's servants, Who is David? Who is the son of Yishai? There are many servants nowadays running away from their masters. Am I supposed to take my bread, my water, and my meat that I slaughtered for my shearers, and give it to men coming from who knows where? So David's men turned around, went back, and came and told him everything Nabal had said. David said to his men, Buckle your swords on, all of you. Each one buckled on his sword, David too, and there went up after David about 400 men, while 200 stayed with the equipment. But one of Nabal's men told Abigail, his wife, David sent messengers from the desert to greet our master, and he flew on them in a rage. Even though the men had been very good to us, they didn't harm us, and we found nothing missing during the entire time we went with them, while we were out in the countryside. They served as a wall, protecting us day and night all the time we were with them, caring for the sheep. So now decide what you are going to do, for clearly harm is on its way to our master and all his household, but he's so mean that no one can tell him anything. Abigail wasted no time in taking 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep already prepared, 6 quarts of roasted grain, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 fig cakes, and having them loaded on donkeys. Then she said to her young men, Go on ahead of me, and I'll come along after you. But she didn't tell her husband, Nabal. She was riding her donkey down past the hiding place in the mountain, when David and his men descended toward her, and she met them. David had said, What a waste it has been guarding everything this fellow has in the desert, so that nothing of his was missing. He has repaid me bad for good. Then he swore, May God do the same and more to David's enemies, if I leave alive even one male of everything he owns. When Abigail saw David, she hurried to dismount from her donkey, fell on her face in front of David, and bowed down to the ground. Having fallen at his feet, she said, It's all my fault, my lord, all my fault. Please let your servant speak in your ears, and listen to what your servant says. Please, my lord shouldn't pay any attention to this worthless fellow Nabal, because he's just like his name. Nabal means boor, and his boorishness stays with him. But I, your servant, did not see my lord's men whom you sent. Therefore, my lord, as Adonai lives, and as you live, inasmuch as Adonai has kept you from the guilt of shedding blood, and from taking vengeance into your own hands, therefore may your enemies and anyone seeking your harm be as worthless as Nabal. Meanwhile, let this present which your servant has brought to my lord be given to the men in my lord's service. And please forgive the offense your servant has caused, because Adonai will certainly establish my lord's dynasty. For my lord fights Adonai's battles, and nothing bad has been found in you all your life long. Even if someone comes along searching for you and seeking your life will be bound in the bundle of life with Adonai your God. But the lives of your enemies he will fling away as if from the pouch of a slingshot. Then when Adonai has done all the good to my lord that he has said about you and made you ruler over Israel, what happens here will not have become an obstacle for you, or a cause for remorse to my lord. Neither that you will shed blood without cause, nor that my lord took vengeance into his own hands. Finally, when Adonai has dealt well with my lord, then remember your servant. David said to Abigail, Blessed be Adonai, the God of Israel, who sent you today to meet me, and blessed be your tactfulness, and blessed be yourself for having kept me today from the guilt of shedding blood and taking vengeance into my own hands. For as Adonai, the God of Israel, lives, who has kept me from harming you, if you hadn't rushed to meet me, not even one male would have been left to Nabal by morning." So David received from her what she had brought him, then said to her, "Go up in peace to your home. I have listened to what you said and granted your request." Abigail came to Nabal. There he was in his house, holding a feast fit for a king. He was in high spirits because he was very drunk. So she told him nothing whatever until the next morning. In the morning, when he was sober, and his wife told him what had happened, he had a stroke and became as motionless as a stone. Some 10 days later, Adonai struck Nabal, and he died. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, "Blessed be Adonai for having taken my side in the matter of Nabal's insult, and for having prevented his servant from doing anything bad. On the contrary, Adonai has caused Nabal's bad deeds to return on his own head." Then David sent a message that he wanted to make Abigail his own wife. When David's servants reached Abigail in Carmel, they said to her, "David has sent us to you to bring you to him to be his wife." She got up, bowed with her face to the ground, and said, "Your servant is here to serve you, to wash the feet of my Lord's servants." Abigail then hurried, set out, and rode off on a donkey, with 5 of her female servants following her. She went after David's messengers, and she became his wife. David also took Ahinoam of Yisrael. Both of them became his wives. Meanwhile, Shaul had given Michal, his daughter, David's wife, to Palti, the son of Laish, who came from Galim. End of 1 Samuel, chapter 25.